Yukon Striker at Canada's Wonderland is the world's tallest, fastest, and longest dive coaster. I also think it's the world's best dive machine. Today I will be covering a review of this excellent coaster. Yukon Striker is a dive coaster manufactured by Baldwin Mabillard. It was officially announced on August 15th, 2018 as part of the Canada's Wonderland 2019 expansion and marked a major milestone in the park's development. It is the world's tallest, fastest, and longest dive coaster at the time of its opening. Yukon Striker stands 68 meters tall, or 223 feet, features a 75-meter drop into an underground tunnel, or 245 feet, and reaches speeds up to 130 kilometers per hour, or 80 miles per hour. It has a track length of 1,105 meters, or 3,625 feet. Its layout includes 4 inversions, and it's the first dive coaster to feature a vertical loop. The ride is located in the newly themed Frontier Canada section of the park, which was originally supposed to open in 1981, but didn't open until Yukon Striker's grand opening. It blends the Canadian heritage with modern engineering. Construction required a significant excavation of the underwater tunnel and modifications to the park's layout. It included changes to the existing vortex. Track pieces had to be taken out for the manufacturing and construction of Yukon Striker's little tunnel. Yukon Striker opened to the public on May 3rd, 2019, and has since become a signature attraction and engineering landmark for both the park and the B&M portfolio. Yukon Striker has 4 different queues to wait in. Firstly, there's an accessible queue, which is for wheelchair people and people with disabilities. And then there's a normal standby queue, which is what most people wait in. It averages to around a 45-minute wait. Then, for the smart people, there's a single rider line. Because these trains are 8 across, and the ride operators have to fit the entire train in order to not lose capacity, single riders are plugged in randomly through the train. Although you won't get to ride with your buddies, this most likely cuts the wait down by a third at least. Then, there's a pricey upcharge, the fast lane, skip the line path. The theming on Yukon Striker is very above average for a Cedar Fair park. One thing to note, no large loose articles are allowed. Yukon Striker has a unique bin system that goes for a much shorter ride once you're on the ride. The thing goes above the station and goes all the way around. And then it corresponds with your train. Whenever it arrives, your loose articles will arrive. Be sure to know that the loose article bins are extremely small, and if your bag is too big, you'll be forced to pay an additional fee for a locker outside. Also, no filled cups are allowed, because once the bin tips over, the soda will fall onto the train and will cause a huge mess. The trains on Yukon Striker are the new generation B&M Best restraints with a redundant seatbelt. These restraints, a lot of enthusiasts criticize for limiting the forces that it delivers. However, I personally don't mind them because they take away all the chances of you getting headbanging. Not that you would get any. Yukon Striker is one of the smoothest coasters in the world. It feels like you're not even on the track. Once dispatched, the floors under your train disappear and the gates open. You gently dip out of the station and ascend the 223-foot or 68 meter tall lift hill. Now this lift hill is loud as it's also extremely steep. At the top, you have a slow turn to your right. This provides a stunning bird's eye view of the entire park and its surrounding area. It is so beautiful. Then you abruptly spot and the suspense begins. You enter a holding brake. You suspend for a few seconds in the air. You look down into a tiny underwater tunnel. And then, without further warning, you release. You plummet down the drop. No matter where you sit, you get very strong and sustained floater airtime the whole way down. In the back row, it has more oomph to it, which is why I prefer that row over any other row. You get some crazy head choppers from all directions from the tunnel because it looks so small when you're that high up. You are plummeted with positive G's in the valley. Then you shoot into the ride's first inversion in the moment loop. This element plummets you with positive G's again on the ascent. The ascent is so powerful. The twist out of it is not very forceful, but is a very disorienting visual, flipping back to horizon level. Then next element is a graceful zero-G winder. It is a very disorienting visual how the train gets pulsed through it. And this element is pretty slow, so the entire train gets some nice hang time. However, don't you worry. The next elements will cause you to gray out. You gain all your speed from the drop off the zero-G winder, and you forcefully zoom through a vertical loop, the first of any dive coaster. You get very strong sustained positive Gs. The next pull-out is located in the trench. This is where you hit the ride's max G-force of 3.7 Gs. I typically start seeing gray here. And then you shoot into the ride's second implement, this one much more small, compact, and forceful. You then pop up right into the mid-course brake run. It is kinked going into it, but unfortunately, you won't get any airtime here. Then like all dive coasters, without fail, you come to a near complete stop. You inch forwards and then you drop off the mid-course brake run, giving those towards the back some decent floater airtime, and giving those towards the front a little pinch of airtime. Your on-right camera is on your right. Smile! The pullout doesn't offer many positive Gs, unfortunately, and then you hop into this small airtime hill, which doesn't look like much, but does manage to give some weak floater airtime throughout the train. Then you zoom into a 360-degree helix that doesn't offer many forces, but is a very cool visual no matter if you're on or off ride. You then pop into the brake run, and if you're in the left seat of the train, you get a tiny pinch of airtime from the transition. This ends the world's tallest, fastest, and longest dive coaster. I think that Yukon Striker is the world's best dive coaster for many reasons, mainly due to its good layout and breakneck intensity. So what would I rate the world's tallest, fastest, and longest dive coaster? I would give this ride a 9 out of 10. It is amazing. It is not only a crowd pleaser, but is not a one-trick pony like many enthusiasts had believed it to be. It is truly one of the best rides in Canada. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and smashing that subscribe button. There will be a lot more similar and great amusement park and roller coaster content.